ADB, play that shit.
Who you think you playing with? I won't show my hand, bitch. Niggas hang mad, envy me, and I can't stand it.
Hey man, say man, what's good YouTube? It's your boy Quezzo, aka Quez the Plug, man. I'm back getting another banger, man. We back with part 2 of the Courtship Rivals, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Part 1 was good, bro. It was interesting, bro. I done learned a lot, so let's dive back into part 2, bro. Let's not even waste time. It's part 2. I'm gonna probably do like one more part, and then after that, we good. That should be the end of it.
I'm seeing orange trees and lemon trees in people's front yards. To stop, I gotta go pick an orange. Like, are you crazy? I said, no, I gotta do this. And so I ran up like a scared little kid, grabbed the orange, and ran back to the lemon.
Bro, I forgot what he was even talking about.
I'd never seen a lemon tree. I was fascinated.
When 20-year-old Irvin Johnson arrived in Los Angeles in the fall of 1979, he was a world away from Lansing, the only home he'd ever known. He was the #1 pick of the LA Lakers, a once dominant franchise stuck in mediocrity. In the stoic Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Lakers had talent, was energy. Irvin Magic Johnson was only too happy to provide it.
Hey, so Kareem was doing bad before Magic got there on the Lakers? I thought they were still winning. I know they didn't win no chips, but I thought they were still doing decent. That's crazy.
Lit the place up. Changed the franchise, changed the temperament. I changed it from the very first game.
Game winner.
Here
Yeah, that
was
Kareem
the
skyhook
first
is so
game
like
of a long
iconic, bro.
temperament. I changed it from the very first
Just
game.
look at it.
Here it was, the first game of a long season against the lowly Clippers. And Magic was embracing Kareem as if they'd just won their 10th straight championship. It was like, man, this is a different kind of dude.
Hey, Magic energy was just crazy, bro.
He became the prince of the city. He reminded me of a guy who wakes up without an alarm clock. And that's what I used to always say. I want to be happy enough to wake up without an alarm clock because I want to go into my work.
I mean, you want an NBA, so you better be waking up happy to go to your job. You got one of the best jobs ever. Bro, get the hoop and make millions.
He had what it is. As far as I was concerned.
Well, if he was making millions back then, I don't know how the contracts was back then. Well, you gotta adjust for inflation, but this ain't economics class.
The it was not his ability or his size. The it was his attitude, was his leadership, was his mind. I mean, I don't have to talk about Game 6 at Philadelphia.
Magic Johnson will shot.
In his rookie season, Magic had helped lead the Lakers to the NBA Finals against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Rookie year is crazy.
In Game 6, with an injured Abdul-Jabbar back home in LA, Magic played all 5 positions, scored 42 points, grabbed 15 rebounds, and dished out 7 assists, leading the Lakers to the championship.
That's just great, bro. Your first year. I think it took Larry to like his second year he got him a chip. But still, though, they both saved their franchises. That's tough, bro. They really saved basketball.
In just 4 years, he had won titles in high school, college, and the pros.
Magic, what do you have that makes you perform like this in these championship games?
Well, I don't know. Just I love to win. Across the masthead of the Los Angeles Times, the next day it said, "It's Magic."
He was a star when he first arrived here, coming off the NC2A game. And quickly, during that first season, he became one of the stars in town. But that game put him on another level. That made him the star in town.
It's funny how I wanted to meet the celebrity, but they wanted to meet me. I was like shocked.
Nah, Michael Jackson? That's crazy. Bro, man, everybody.
Like, wow, you know who I am?
He was young, famous, and after Lakers owner Jerry Buss signed him to a 25-year, $25 million contract.
25 million?
The kid from Lansing was ready to sample a different kind of fruit. His playboy boss knew all the ripest trees.
I said, oh, I'm hanging with him. When they were coming into the box, And he had 10.
Nah, this face is crazy, bro. Bro, happy as hell.
20 of them.
Imagine what he was doing.
Which one you want? And I was like, oh, okay, it's like that? And then he said, I'm going to take you to the Playboy Mansion. What? The mansion? No, you kidding? I said, yep. So I went there, and my first time, I'm backing up like, I can't believe I'm in, but I'm backing up away. You know, it's like, I'm scared to death. Probably 10
Hey, bro, Magic, bro. The way Magic can tell a story, bro, really can make you really envision the story, bro. Like,
guys.
bro, funny as hell.
Women, you know. Everybody think it's sex driven, but it's really not. You have dinner, then you watch the latest movie. And then, of course, I don't want to ever say that sex wasn't involved, because if you meet somebody, that's what, you know.
Hey, bro, just go ahead and say it, Magic. What you did that night. Go ahead and say it, bro.
You did that, but it's really a great experience to go up there. So, yeah, I had fun there.
Now, he came to
I
LA
bet he did.
like the Pied Piper. You know, people were giving him this and giving him that. But, you know, he stayed pretty grounded to the game.
Everybody was getting high then, but you can't even smoke a joint around Magic.
He had real old school, down in the trenches work ethic.
But that's the first time I ever seen Magic actually look like a kid, bro. Bro usually always look like a grown man, bro.
Honed in him by his dad, Irvin Johnson Sr.
Magic was always this guy. You know, he never did none of that, so I did everything for him.
Magic Johnson was living on a natural high. He was starring in the role of a lifetime, point guard of a Hollywood team with an offense called Showtime. He even had the alter ego perfect for the production.
I mean, Magic was his stage name. Even he would laugh about it.
And I'm gonna keep saying, bro got the greatest nickname of all time, bro. I'm sorry, like Magic Johnson. Like, come on, bro. Like Magic was just a cool guy, bro. Like.
Well, he always says there's two people. There's Irvin Johnson from East Lansing, and there's Magic Johnson from Hollywood.
Irvin Johnson is another guy. You know, here's Magic over here, and here's Irvin over here.
Irvin is this fun-loving guy. Magic was so serious and dedicated to his game, and he was a crazy competitor and a crazy man.
Irvin, I think, is the smiling kid from Lansing. I think Irvin died about 25 minutes after the NCAA championship game.
Irvin doesn't have the ego that Magic has. Magic got a crazy ego, and winning is everything.
And Irvin wanted to, along with Magic, conquer LA.
After having led the Lakers to 2 NBA titles in their first 4 years in town, Magic and Irvin were well on their way.
That's just greatness.
I think Magic wanted to be friends with Larry Bird. He wanted to be friends with him on the World Invitational Tournament, and Larry just wasn't very receptive.
Bro, Larry had to be like 6'11", bro, because he got like 2 inches over Magic, bro.
He wanted to be friends with him on the World Invitational Tournament, and Larry just wasn't very receptive. I think he wanted to be friends with him during the Final Four. Larry wouldn't even go over and shake his hand. So now Magic's saying, well, what's with this guy? Everybody loves me. How come you don't love me? And then they get to their rookie year, the first time they play each other, they have a very hard foul. And they have to be separated a little bit. And Magic's like, all right, well, the hell with this guy.
Man,
like
Magic trying to be bro friend, and Bird like, bro, you just beat me in the championship, bro. I do not like you.
Fine, all right, good. I don't like you either.
You know, he's a very competitive player, and I'm a very competitive player, and we go head to head, and we go for blood almost.
The vibe was nasty. It was ugly. It was we didn't like each other.
I'm the one that did all that. To tell you the truth, it was. I just don't want to be hanging around him. I mean, that's my main competition.
And he couldn't escape the memory of losing to him in 1979.
Oh, it ate at him bad that he didn't win that national title against Magic. That was something that just burned him.
It was one thing for them to be in the 79 championship. Magic had the better team. Everybody agreed with that.
Yeah.
Magic had the better game. Fine. Now you get to the pros. Larry has this incredible year. But there he is, watching in a club while Magic Johnson wins a championship, and he's thinking, All right, I'm behind 2-0 now.
I watched that game and I couldn't believe it.
What the? Hold on. My trip, what kind of layup did bro just do?
Game and I couldn't believe it.
What the?
I always wanted to play at that level.
But what Bird couldn't possibly have known was that he had inspired Magic's performance when he was named Rookie of the Year earlier that same day.
PR person from the Lakers says, "Hey, Irvin, the..."
Whoa, he got Rookie Year the same day Magic won a chip? That's tough. I didn't even know Bird got Rookie of the Year for Magic. I thought Magic got it.
Year earlier that same day.
The PR person from the Lakers says, "Hey, Irvin, the Rookie of the Year voting has come out." Magic says, "Okay, well, who won?" He said, "Well, Larry Bird won." And Magic says, "Well, was it close?" And he said, "Oh, no."
We weren't even close?
He
3?
went out that day, yes, to try to win the NBA championship, but also to prove it to one Larry Bird. You know what? I should have been Rookie of the Year.
Even though I won the championship, I still wanted to win the Rookie of the Year too.
He won that championship. I was pissed. I won him one.
But even after he had won one the next year, his obsession only grew deeper.
I'd get up in the mornings and see what he did because their games came on late. Then you look at the box score. I had to have him there for some reason. Like a crutch. Somebody I could compare myself to.
I hated what was being said that Larry was better than me and I'm just a guy who can control the game. My first 4 or 5 years, that bothered me a lot. I didn't tell nobody about it, but he did.
Their competitive dislike emerged from a greater truth, that on the court, they were doppelgangers. Team-oriented stars who cared about winning above all else. Basketball savants who fused the substance of the 60s with the style of the 70s to create a new and exciting, yet selfless way to play the game in the 1980s.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass. But I'm gonna pass in a way to make you look like a jackass.
No cap, like...
They were so simple.
Both of them had crazy dons.
I mean, they were...
Let me go back. I'm talking over, bro. My bad.
But I'm gonna pass in a way to make you look like a jackass. They were so simple in the way they competed. I mean, they were two halves of the same brain.
Same craziness to excel.
I seen that first couple of days I was with him.
Basketball IQ off the chart.
Seen the game a little different, most players.
Playing the game the right way was everything.
A lot of guys can just score. A lot of guys can just rebound. A lot of guys can just make plays. We can do it all.
Larry and Magic could control the game with 12 shots. It was amazing. They'd be 7 for 12. They'd have 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. And you go, man, the guy shot the ball 12 times. Was the best player on the court by far.
I think it was tough at first. I don't think either one of them wanted to recognize that they had any equal anywhere in what they did. But they sure as hell didn't want to recognize that their equal happened to be that other guy.
That's why we hated each other too, because we knew we were mirrors of each other.
I think for
Facts,
a while,
but like they game is literally Larry is basically Magic with a jumper, low key. Like Magic probably can pass a little bit better, but like other than that, rebounding, like they really is the same player, bro.
they had to come to grips with that.
They had begun changing the game, but with continued low television ratings and tape-delayed final.
My bad, my camera dying. My bad, y'all.
The league was struggling to get the word out. When the NBA and CBS signed a new TV deal for the 82-83 season, the rescue plan was simple. Sell more Bird and Magic, and sell them not just as ball players, but as arch-rival characters in their own dramatic saga.
You got this slick Showtime African-American guy out west, and you got the lunch bucket, floppy-haired white guy with the bruises all over his body. It's central casting. It's perfect.
I mean, this was like made in heaven. In 1979, this idea of Magic and Bird was created. And so that was sort of a no-brainer. We'd have a doubleheader. It would be the Celtics playing first and the Lakers playing second. And that's the way we did it.
And when the Celtics and Lakers both reached the finals just a year into the new TV deal in 1984, it appeared the superstar investment was about to pay off.
It was huge. It was probably the biggest moment the NBA had up to that point. You had Boston and LA, East against West. It had all the elements of a classic showdown.
Including what was becoming the most inescapable element of all. Did we know that?
So who won that first matchup? We gonna see. I don't know. We gonna see. I'm gonna say Lakers got that dub because the Lakers low-key got a better team. Even though the Celtics stacked too, the Lakers always had a little bit better team.
Blacks and whites were lining up. The whites with the Celtics, the blacks with. Of course, we knew that.
Even in the Celtics' own backyard.
They land at Logan Airport at the '84 finals. He's getting accosted by various people who are telling him Larry's going to take him down. But this one older African-American gentleman comes up to me and goes, Magic, I want to wish you well. Good luck. I want you to crush the Celtics. And he said, oh, where are you from? He said, well, I'm from Boston. And he said, you're from Boston and you're rooting for the Lakers? I thought everybody here was crazy about the Celtics. And he looked right at me and said, now why would I root for those white boys?
Nah. Being black in Boston in like the 80s, early 80s, that's kind of crazy.
The town still scarred by the ugly busing crisis of the mid-'70s. A violent period of urban unrest during which white had been pitted against black. The resulting taint on the city nationally, coupled with a Boston roster littered with white players, affirmed to many black Americans that the Celtics were not the team for them.
Damn. How many black people was on the Celtics? Like 2 players?
Even today, people said, you played with the Celtics. You know, I hated you at that time. You know, I wanted Magic to win. I didn't want that damn Larry Bird to win. We had all these black players, but they looked at us because we had Larry Bird leading us as a team that was white.
They were perfect archetypes for what was becoming the biggest story in sports. But for the real-life players, the narrative was much simpler.
It's finally going to happen. We get to go head-to-head again. It's just a matter of rolling that ball out there and let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
To the Boston Garden and the start of the NBA
Let's see who get
World
this win, bro.
Championship Series.
I got Lakers, bro.
I'm Brent Musburger.
I got my guy Magic.
Each of the last 4 NBA World Championship Series, either Magic or Bird has competed. But this is the first time that the two have gone head-to-head for the title.
Man, we jumped out on them that first game, and we won in Boston.
And with less than a minute to go in Game 2, the Lakers were closing in on a commanding series lead.
Oh my God, look at that pass. Hold on.
From that point on, things began to crumble.
Down to 9 seconds. Magic holds the ball. Magic trying to work on Maxwell. Magic has still got it down to 2 seconds. 1 second. He's going to have to shoot it.
This that when they start calling him Tragic Johnson.
Cheesy Johnson dribbling the timeout. What are you doing?
The Lakers regained their stride in Game 3, only to be rudely knocked off it again in Game 4.
Dang.
And now let's watch it. Cooper and the Celtics, and now the bench
That's
is
a
empty.
crazy foul, bro.
Kurt Bramage got taken out. We started fighting instead of playing.
Kareem swings the elbow, and now is yelling at Larry Bird. Jaw to jaw.
And it made us realize we were not mentally tougher than the Celtics.
Magic's just not himself.
Be sure they won't let the time run out as they did in Game 2. Harris steals the ball, and the Celtics.
Nah, Magic was selling.
There were places where, Irvin didn't do what people expected him to do.
Tied at 123. He misses the first. Johnson misses them both. Celtics want a timeout. Despondent, Magic Johnson goes to the bench. Bird turnaround hits.
Game 5 went to the Celtics. Game 6 to the Lakers.
Game
It's
7.
like 1979 all over again. Down to 1 game for Bird and Magic.
If everybody had to look at it, probably would have said this is going to be a 7-game series.
I thought we'd sweep him in 4, but this went a little bit longer. Now we just have to do it in 7.
Nah, Bird really be talking that talk, bro. That's crazy.
That's the only time I ever felt that. There ain't no way they're walking out here with a win.
Magic Johnson.
No way.
Lakers have several chances, and here's Larry Bird chucking down the court.
Bro, this is so interesting to watch, bro. Like, we do not see rivalries like this no more. Probably the last week's had, what, the LeBron versus the Warriors rivalry, but that won't even know. That was barely, it was, what, 4 rings to 1. Like, it wasn't even a rivalry. Bro, I miss this type of stuff, bro. I wish I was supposed to watch this, bro. I wish I was living in those times, though, but I wish I could watch basketball in those times. Yep, that's game. Bird got his revenge.
The Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
I pride myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurt. Hope he killed him. He made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. You know, not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy's suffering, and you know he was.
I remember after the game, both he and I were in the showers crying.
Michael Cooper, a squeaker.
Stayed in there for about 35, 40 minutes. It was hard because not only had we lost to the Boston Celtics, he had lost to his nemesis, Larry Bird.
I think he just made me dislike him, you know, because he was that good. And I think you'd be jealous. Jealous a little bit.
Who do you think was more jealous of each other, Bird or Magic? Like, who was more jealous? Low-key, I feel like Magic was low-key jealous, bro. Like, Bird, he showed it, but he ain't really showed as much as Magic. Magic was gonna say it. That's the thing. Bird was just a quiet hater, bro.
Let's get you even with Magic for what happened between Michigan State, Indiana State, all those many years ago. Yeah, we're professionals now, but I want this for Terre Haute.
Well, it was a big deal. I remember asking Quinn Buckner about it afterwards. They had a celebration in downtown Boston after they won the championship. And, you know, it was unusual for Larry to have these little outbursts, as Quinn would call them. But, you know, about 11:30 at night, finally he turned to Quinn. He goes, I got him. I finally got him. And he was talking about Magic.
The league was rejoicing too. Game 7 of the '84 series was one of CBS's highest-rated telecasts of the year. The highest-rated game the NBA had ever produced.
All of a sudden, whether it was at CBS or Madison Avenue, sports writers around the country became phenomenal. What is happening here? The absolute foundation of this resurgence was the Celtics and the Lakers, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
But Magic was in no mood to bask in the accomplishment.
I took a media beating. Tragic Magic. This is why we say Larry Bird is better. It's probably the first time ever in my life I was depressed. I didn't want people to see me.
That's sad, bro. Basketball really is all mental, for real, bro. Like, if your mental ain't into it, like, that's really how it is. A lot of people could be so much better, but they mental weak. That's crazy,
It was
bro.
something I never dealt with in my life.
That particular series, that championship series, redefined his whole career because he never stopped working after that.
Magic was on a mission to prove to himself and the world that with the ball in his hands, he was still the one in control. And after his Lakers ran through the '85 season, he quickly got what he wanted. Another shot at Bird and the Celtics.
Oh, they played back-to-back?
They won the East, we won the West. So it's like everybody just get ready, sit back, and let's enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, let's see who won this one.
But that smile belied the intensity of the clash that awaited.
If I had a glass of water and any of those guys had been on fire, I would drink the water and watch them.
They called us, chokers and sissies. We didn't like that, and they thought less of us. I knew they did.
In '85, we played them 4 times in exhibition season for some reason. I don't know why they scheduled
Who
that.
was Jerry?
By the 4th game, there was an all-out brawl.
Hey, how nice was he? I never even heard of bro.
They call this one of the greatest rivalries in all of sport, the Celtics, the Lakers. And if that is true, it is the most one-sided rivalry in all of sports. 8 times these two have met for the NBA championship, and 8 times the Celtics have won. At guard in his 6th year from Michigan State.
I did not know that. Going into this, the Celtics was 8-0 against this Lakers. I forgot it's the Bill Russell, his era.
But in the '85 finals, Magic changed the script. Over 6 grueling games, he masterfully controlled the pace with all-around brilliance.
He has a triple-double again.
Behind their point guard, the Lakers finally knocked out the Celtics, winning the clinching game in the Boston Garden.
3 in 6 years, LA comes to Boston and wins the world title.
Hey, I knew Magic gonna get it done, bro. There's no way he was going outside twice, bro. He too mentally tough for that, bro. He went through all that. You know he's gonna come back and kill, bro. And that's what he did. Got that ring. But this definitely like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen, bro. I might have to watch that Larry Bird and Magic show. I think it's on Peacock. I might see what that's hitting on.
Redemption for one Magic Johnson. It's a long year last year to wait for this moment right now.
Magic had evened the score with Bird on the NBA floor. But the significance of their rivalry and their relationship was still just taking hold.
You crazy. I said, you crazy. I'm not shooting no commercial with Larry. So I said, okay, what, we're gonna shoot it in LA?
I would never went to LA to film it.
Well, where are we gonna shoot it?
Ready with Indiana?
If you want to shoot a commercial, come to my house.
I knew he was gonna go to Indiana.
I was like, oh no. One stoplight. I thought Lansing was small. I think the plan was I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm trying to get up out of here. My plan was that.
Even after Converse had convinced Magic and Bird to film a sneaker ad together in the summer of '85, a question remained. How would the two hated rivals on the court get along off of it?
I don't know how he's gonna react. I don't know how I'm gonna react. We didn't even shake hands, so how are we gonna do a commercial together?
The ad was to be filmed at the home Bird had built for his mom. It featured a full-length basketball court, the day's first location.
So they say, okay, you're playing one-on-one, and I'm looking at Larry, and he's looking at me like, is this real? Are we playing? Because, you know, this is Magic and Bird.
I could just hear Larry, starting in on, well, you bring it to the basket, and I'm going to send it 30 rows up.
So the guy was like, no, not like that. A fun game. We were both like, oh, okay. Like, like you can see this relief coming over both our faces.
That brief détente led to the next stage, dialogue.
We sat down next to each other. How was your summer? It's going good. How was yours? It's going great. He said, man, it's a nice spread you got.
He's asked me, is this where you play? I said, yeah, I play here if it's not windy. If it's raining or windy, I go to the gym. But this is where I do all my work.
I see that tractor. You work on the tractor? And now I work on this tractor every day. Larry Bird work on a tractor. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, bro. That's the type of guy Larry was, bro. Bro, come back from his whole season, win a chip, go back home, hop on the tractor, like.
Walking and talking, and every once in a while they'd stop and one of them would say something, and then they'd start laughing.
Then they said, okay, break, it's lunch break time. I was going to my trailer. He said, no, my mother has prepared lunch for us up at the house.
We went up to the house and we sat down there and we talked. And my mom, my brothers thought the world of it.
His mother was so nice, making sure I had enough to eat. I just saw my mother. It was crazy.
He charmed her. You can see it. But that's Magic. He makes everybody feel welcome and warm, and he's a con man.
He's a con man. This is like the first joke I ever heard Larry say, bro. Bro, low-key funny, I ain't gonna lie.
And while Magic charmed Georgia Bird, it was someone else who intrigued her son.
He met Irvin at lunch.
Irvin was a good dude. I like Irvin a lot better than Magic.
I was just so happy to finally be Irvin with him, because Magic was like, I don't know if I want to get to know this guy. But Irvin got a chance to talk about family. I grew up. We just became two relaxed guys, just talking.
That day was great. It was a great day. Beautiful day.
Still, for Bird, ever the competitor, that's all it was. Just one day.
Just one day.
Magic thinks the next year, okay, well, now we're great friends, so, you know, after the game, we're going to go out, we're going to have a beer. And Larry's like, no, you're right. I know you better. You're a good guy, but I still don't want anything to do with you.
He's a happy-go-lucky guy. If me and him got to be really good friends, go out on the court, he could still play the same game I couldn't. That's just the way it is.
But when the ad hit the airwaves, for others, the perception changed.
I saw those limousines going through the cornfields, and I said, no. They didn't sell themselves out.
I heard Converse made a pair of Bird shoes for last year's MVP. Yep. But they made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP. Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
Oh, this is really a business thing.
The Bird shoe, the Magic shoe.
And maybe that's where the business thing started.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm rocking with the Bird shoe. I ain't gonna lie. I'm rocking with the Bird shoe. Whose shoe was y'all rocking back then? I'm rocking with the Bird. I like the black.
Bird shoe,
the black and white.
the Magic shoe.
And maybe that's where the business thing started to get bigger and began to trump who they both really were.
It polarized the whole idea of lunch bucket versus Hollywood, white versus black. Just cemented all the differences between them.
Kids weren't wearing black gym shoes because they didn't want to be associated with the Larry Bird camp. You wore your white Converse.
The basketball rivals had morphed into cultural warriors, and race, more than ever, had become an unavoidable part of the conversation.
Yo!
But nothing about Bird and Magic had ever been as simple as black and white.
One of the big reasons this rivalry became so emblematic of so many things is because it was an easy dichotomy for people to understand. But
Honestly,
it's
bro.
crazy to simplify it as saying white people
Yeah, the
like
fact
Bird.
that Bird was white and Magic was black even made it even better, bro. Because it's like in that time, black people had somebody to gravitate to, and the white people had somebody to gravitate to, bro. Bird and Magic was just perfect for each other, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Black people like Magic because 13% of the country is black. It wasn't like 87% of basketball fans preferred the Celtics.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Magic Johnson. Who's your favorite movie star? Eddie Murphy. Pino, all you ever talk about is nigga this, nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas.
Bro, is that a young Spike Lee? Nah, bro. Spike Lee like
All
Lee.
you ever talk about is nigga this, nigga that. And all your favorite people are so-called niggas. It's different. Magic, Eddie, Prince. I'm not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself.
Nah, did he just say? Hold on.
I mean, they're not black. I mean, Prince. I'm not niggas. I mean, they're not black. I mean, let me explain myself.
Has the N-word ever been used by a white person to describe Irvin? I doubt it.
That was crazy.
But as Magic enjoyed his image as a crossover star, it was Bird, the one-time great white hope, who had further emerged as the polarizing racial figure, due in part to that era's increasingly conservative political climate.
Rolling back institutionally, the achievements of the civil rights movement were going on apace from about 1975 on. But the triumph of the movement that rolled back took place in the 1980s. And I think there was people who were very aware in the black community of what was going on. And I think there was a lot of sublimated frustration. And I think one of the ways it got sublimated was into basketball. And I think Larry, through no fault of his own, was the receptacle within which the lingering resentments somehow flowed.
And after Bird led the Celtics to the championship in 1986, his third in the pros, winning his third straight MVP award in the process, the resentment grew.
I always felt that the press was biased in favor of Larry Bird. It always felt to me like they were going to make Larry the hero. You know, you'd see somebody score, and Larry would be in a cast in a suit on the bench, and they'd say, Larry Bird made that possible a couple weeks ago when he told that guy he could do it, and he just did it. They gonna get his motherfucker the assist, and he not in the game?
Not to be racist, but we have a white guy who's the best in the world, and predominantly a black sport now. And you got a guy like Larry Bird who can't run, who can't jump, but can do everything out there.
That don't mean nothing to me. It don't mean anything to me. It never has. I don't know why. I mean, am I doing something wrong here?
That's why I rock with Bird, bro. That's exactly why I rock with him.
Bird may have sought to avoid the conversation entirely. The more he won, the less he could escape it.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
In 1987, after Boston beat...
Alright, but this is where we gonna end part 2, man. We're gonna be back for part 3 soon. If y'all enjoyed this part, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Let me know what y'all want me to react to next, man. Part 3 coming soon is the last and final part, man. If y'all can't wait for it, let me know. I'm out.
We go harder. We got 2